Let's talk about blueprints and arc raiders. Whether you're departing on or have just departed on the expedition here around the time of this video being published, or you're just looking to find one sometime down the line, how do you actually find blueprints that you're looking for? While you're never guaranteed a specific blueprint in a specific crate or something as pinpoint precise as that, it's quite possible you could be looking in the wrong locations that would otherwise help narrow down your search. Today we're taking a look at what you need to know about blueprints and how to find what you're looking for. Drop your thoughts down below, drop a like if you enjoy the video, and make sure to subscribe for more arc raiders and other FPS content. I'd love to have you in the community, but for now, let's get into it. So blueprints. The core tenet of them is that they're in loot pools. The simplest way to put it is that you're looking for specific types of blueprints in specific areas or containers, maps, or map conditions. They're not bound to any set spawn locations that you can point out a specific crate or even a guaranteed area to loot, but specific blueprints have specific set conditions and loot pools. A lot of the time, you may be able to infer what that is, like medical style items are found in more medical areas or containers. So you wouldn't say find a defib blueprint in an explosive container or something like that. But it's easier to assume than actually map it all out, right? So let's do that. From here on out, we're going to be going category by category on what blueprints you can expect to find. Timestamps down below on the video progress bar for easy traversal, but let's start out with raider containers. The raider container type includes raider caches, first wave raider caches, new with the hurricane map condition in the Shrouded Sky update, weapon cases, backpacks, grenade tubes, medical bags, and ammo cases. These are often found out in the open like raider caches, behind locked doors or key rooms, or on set spawn rotations. Those set spawn rotations, things like map utility tools like Metaforge, a personal favorite of mine, have spawn points mapped out on each of the maps in the game. Those you can head directly towards those areas, but you have to note they're like blueprints. There's no guarantee of their spawn because each of these items that can be mapped out, each raid has new spawn points on rotation. So while a utility tool can point out where a spawn point is, it won't be a guaranteed location that will be there in every single raid. They change raid to raid. But what blueprints you can find in raider containers are things like the Anvil, Patina, Il Toro, Osprey, Torrente, Venator, light, medium, and heavy gun parts. As the Shrouded Sky update, the first wave raider caches also include the Tempest, Bobcat, Volcano, Vita Spray, explosive mines, and a possible few more, like I found a lightweight stock in there. But as we'll touch on when we get to the map condition specific stuff, right now, as of recording this a little ahead of time, shortly after the update, the hurricane map condition is kind of like the dark horse right now. Seems like it's a mixture of a bunch of different loot pools. But anyways, moving on to your medical style containers. These will entail blue drawers, or the blue multi-drawer containers you'll see, medical bags, and the white medical drawers. These are found in medical listed areas and areas that have wings of medical centers, like Spaceport, for example. The departure building has a whole medical wing, even used in Lance-related medical style quests, but it's not listed as a medical area on the actual map itself. What you can find when you loot these types of containers in that loot pool are things like your Combat Mark III, Aggressive and Flanking, your Looting Mark III, Safekeeper and Survivors, your Tactical Mark III, Defensive, Healing and Revivals, the Vita Shot, Vita Spray, and Defibrillator blueprints. So all of those, again, coming back to it, matching up medical containers with medical-related items. Now, security containers, that's next. You're going to see a little bit of crossover here with what you can actually get. Those entail your black crates and locker boxes, often referred to as your augment containers, because, well, as you'll see, they contain augment blueprints. The Combat Mark III, Aggressive and Flanking, Looting Mark III, Safekeeper and Survivor, and Tactical Mark III, Defensive, Healing, and Revivals are all found in these style containers, as well as those medical containers that we just mentioned. Also, you can find in security containers explicitly complex gun part blueprints. Now, one thing that should be noted here is that the combat and tactical augments that we just mentioned appear to be specific to those two types of containers, both medical and security, as of recently only on Stella Montis and Bluegate, while the looting variants of the Safekeeper and the Survivor can be found on any maps within Arc Raiders, but again, in those specific container types. Moving along a little further, the industrial containers is next. These entail just about everything metal, it seems like. Car and bus breachable containers, the green containers and lockers, metal crates, red lockers, the yellow tool cabinets, those are all classified as industrial types. Some, like the industrial drawers, seem to have some crossover as well with condition-specific blueprints. Like, while it's not one that's listed explicitly for industrial types of containers, I have found Tempest and Wolfpack blueprints in those industrial drawers on like the 6th floor of Space Travel on Buried City, whereas those are usually listed as residential containers. So there is a little crossover with that, it seems. But what blueprints you can find explicitly from just the industrial type of containers are blaze grenades, explosive and jolt mines, and showstoppers. Now, residential containers, what these entail are cabinets, desk drawers, closets and cabinets, trash cans, wooden and office drawers, suitcases, fridges, things you see predominantly in marked residential areas. This is where you're going to find the majority of blueprints in terms of, like, if you're looking at one specific category, quantifiably, there's more blueprints in these than any of the other ones. A lot of these, though, come down to simply just attachment-based things. So things you'll find in any given map, any given condition. In residential containers, most of your level 2 attachments: angled grips, compensators, extended light mag, extended medium mags, extended shotgun mags, muzzle brake, shotgun choke, silencers 1 and 2, the stable stock 2, and the smoke grenade. Those are all found in residential containers on, again, any given map condition, any given map. On top of that, though, the Mark III versions of the angled grip, compensator, extended mags, muzzle brake, shotgun choke, and the epic tier attachments of the lightweight stock, padded stock, shotgun silencer, and extended barrel, those are going to be residential container specific, but also another extra hurdle is they're going to be map condition specific to various map conditions of Night Raid, Locked Gate, Electromagnetic Storm, and the Hurricane condition, but all of those, again, still in those residential style containers. Electrical containers, these entail things like your androids, electrical cabinets, fuse boxes, generators, server racks, wall terminals, breaker boxes, and the likes. You'll find barricade kits, remote raider flares, and tagging grenades here in this. And finally, the last container specific come down to ARC containers, things like the Queen, the Surveyors. These can grant blueprints out of them. The Equalizer and Jupiter are from the Harvester event with the Queen, and the Aphelion was previously a Matriarch specific reward, but as we'll touch on in a second, it's now only map specific to Stellamontis, while the Surveyor can also end up granting the Vita Shot and Vita Spray blueprints. So as a baseline, again, you can see that there's sort of these loot pools for various different types of containers that you should be looting. But okay, we didn't touch a lot of high tier stuff here that we've already seen throughout Arc Raiders, so where do you look for that kind of stuff? Firstly, to start out with map-specific blueprints, then work our way into map condition-specific stuff, trials rewards, quest rewards, and the likes. So, map-specific, Stellamontis is the map that you'll see the majority of sort of map-specific stuff on. It's actually got a pretty decent loot pool of blueprints only found in Stellamontis. Here you'll find the Aphelion, Trailblazer, Deadline, Gas Mine, Pulse Mine, and Seeker Grenades. It should be mentioned again, just kind of as a crossover here, or reiteration, but just for the sake of being thorough, the Combat Mark III and Tactical Mark III augments are also found exclusively as of late on Bluegate and Stellamontis. So map specific there as well. Now your map condition specific stuff, that's where you're going to see more and more of these rarer types spread across the various number here. It's not all in just one specific map condition like we see most of the map specific stuff being in Stellamontis. Night Raid has specific blueprints of the Tempest, Wolfpack, and extended medium mags. These are listed officially as in residential containers, but again, as mentioned before, I found a few of these crossover in the industrial drawers of the 6th floor of Space Travel. That's one of my favorite places to loot, highest density I feel of loot available for quick cash and stuff like that. So I found, again, a couple of those crossovers here in not residential containers, but more so listed as industrial containers or in a commercial area. So maybe we see that crossover in commercial locations, but big thing, Night Raid only. Anyways, the Electromagnetic Storm ends up having the Snap Hook as an exclusive item here, which can be found in any type of container. Some people end up telling you to go to higher tier loot zones for this kind of stuff, which yes, they can spawn there, but I've also found it in the outskirts in a red locker. So like, it is possible in any container here to end up finding that Snap Hook for you. Locked Gate as a map condition is where you end up finding the Bobcat, and all three of these, Night Raid, Electromagnetic Storm, and Locked Gate, will also share blueprints across a number of different residential containers. These again being where you'll find a lot of those attachments, as mentioned, just for the sake of being thorough and having it categorically listed here. You also can find in these three map conditions the Shotgun Silencer, Compensator 3, Extended Barrel, Extended Light, Medium, and Shotgun Magazines 3, the Lightweight Stock, Muzzle Brake 3, Padded Stock, Shotgun Choke 3, Stable Stock 3, and Vertical Grip 3, as well as the Angled Grip 3, and again, those dubbed residential containers. Hidden Bunker, you'll end up finding the Volcano exclusive to there, and a shared blueprint also of the Shotgun Silencer in residential containers. Now again, as mentioned, the newest edition of the Hurricane map condition is one that's interesting. As of recording this, it's still a bit of a mystery in the full scope of what's available. Again, this video is being recorded shortly after the update itself because I'll be away at the time of this video being published, but I've personally seen the Tempest, Bobcat, Volcano, lightweight stock, explosive mines, and a few other things. So like the Hurricane map condition does appear to kind of be this map condition that throws out multiple rules out the window. Adding things like the Tempest, Bobcat, and Volcano, okay, that's like added to the weapons of Raider caches normally, but then you also have explosive mines in the explosive loot pool. You found a lightweight stock in an industrial container, whereas that's usually listed in residential. It's kind of like the dark horse right now that we've yet to really crack the code on. If it's not bugged, like that's possible too, that maybe some of this stuff shouldn't be there in the locations it's at, but the Hurricane map condition definitely has some very specific stuff that expands some of those exclusive locations that you'd find blueprints otherwise. And finally, for map condition specific stuff, the Fireworks blueprint can be found in any container in the Cold Snap event. Next, moving on to Trials, it would appear that most of the blueprints in the game are actually in the loot pool for Trials, albeit still incredibly rare as an option to get them, but technically possible since you're getting a randomized reward from the 3 tiers per trial. But also, you're up against every single item in the non-blueprint loot pool as well, so you have a very small chance of them, but a chance no less. It's easier to honestly list off what's not in the defined loot pool for Trials, and that includes the Aphelion, Equalizer, Hullcracker, Jupiter, Lure Grenade, Snap Hook, while the Fireworks box, Gas Mine, Seeker Grenade, Trigger Grenade, and Smoke Grenade blueprints are relatively undefined, leaning more towards no, but there's also not a definitive yes that we've seen here for those. But Trials, not a bad option, again, just by doing something that you may be trying to climb a ranked ladder for. You also get some free stuff out of that that could result in blueprints. Next, quest exclusive stuff. There's a few here that actually make quests actually worthwhile. The Lure Grenade is something that comes along with the Greasing Her Palms quest, the Berletta, the Industrial Espionage quest, the Trigger Grenade in the Sparks Fly quest. The Hullcracker is a part of the Major's Footlocker quest, and that's honestly the one that I always go to or plan on going to every single expedition and reset, because like that's actually really worthwhile to get. And then as of recently with the Shrouded Sky update, now again, if you did the expedition and you reset, you can go towards this and have this later on down the line as the Vita Spray blueprint. This coming along with the Worth Your Salt quest, again added just this past week. Now, that said, that's the ways that you can unlock specific blueprints that you may be looking for, but in the future, we may end up having more and more coming alongside this. As we talked about, more quests are likely going to have more rewards in the future. We see this being something that's added in as of the last couple, but also more things like newer and larger tier projects and events with specific time limits on those for specific blueprints. The projects we've seen recently include the Trophy Display project, which comes along with the Bobcat, Snap Hook, and I want to say the Vita Shot. I could be mistaken on that one off the top of my head. And then we've had events recently focus on this as well, where the Shared Watch ended up having the Vita Spray blueprint available just for simply destroying Ark. So we are going to have more and more ways kind of starting to evolve the blueprint earn mechanisms, but for the time being, this is definitely, I think, all you should know about where to look in Ark Raiders if you're going for any specific blueprint. So that said, that's where we're going to wrap it up. Just want to fill you guys in here. This is something that I definitely look back on every single expedition, so hopefully this can help you out in some way, shape, or form. Best of luck trying to grab the loot you want after the expedition if you did it. But for now, that's where we're going to wrap it up. So let me know your thoughts down below. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all things Ark Raiders and even more FPS content. I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care, and peace.